country's going to burn.
I expected this, but it doesn't make it any less nauseating.
This actually erodes the confidence that Americans have in the justice system. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. But good news is coming. D.A. Bragg, hear me clearly. You cannot silence the American people. You cannot stop us from voting for change. Joe Biden's injustice, Joe Biden's two-tier injustice system, weaponizing the justice system of the United States of America against a political opponent, un-American. Joe Biden, you're fired. We the people stand with Donald Trump.
I almost feel sorry for the Tim Scotts and Marco Rubios of the world, weak little incels scurrying around like rats at Trump's feet, just to be discarded like everyone else in Trump's weak orbit. But no more. I'm getting ready for the fight. This trial was straight up. The jurors were selected by both sides. 2 were conservative, yet they never wavered. And 24 hours later, we can see the truth. Trump is a coward of Herculean proportions, as are his pimply-faced disciples. Not a real man or woman amongst them. And still, here they are, defending this guy. 91 indictments, 34 convictions, 2 impeachments, a rape, a $500 million fine, cheated on his wife with 2 women, takes Russian money, has never won a popular vote, blew the COVID response, has 6 bankruptcies, defrauded a children's cancer charity, stole money from students, and over 30,000 verifiable lies. But does any of this resonate with the cult, or Dad as they call him?
To me, the most important moment, which Trump absolutely nailed, was after the verdict was read, when he came out of the courthouse and he said, it's going to be okay. There were a lot of Americans that were feeling dejected in that moment. There were a lot of people that saw this farcical trial for what it was, the political witch hunt for what it was, and he came out and said, it's okay. And that moment, that's the cue from the bride, the cue from your dad, where you say, okay, it is going to be okay.
It has occurred to me that I give human beings way too much credit. How could 70 million people look at this chubby little boy and allow him to gain access to power and then use that power to promote himself and then turn his back on anyone who disagrees with him? It's a religious cult. And the Republican Party views religion the way Jeffrey Dahmer looked at food. Trump is a predator, but since he's such a coward, he preys only on the weak. But he bows to this prick.
I think that the United States has been foolish.
Would you denounce what happened in 2016, and would you warn him to never do it again?
My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia.
One of the most disgraceful performances by an American president in memory. The Republican chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee unloading on Trump.
The president's comments made us look as a nation more like a pushover.
And staunch Trump ally and friend Newt Gingrich coming down hard on the president as well. President Trump must clarify his statements in Helsinki on our intelligence system and Putin. It is the most serious mistake of his presidency and must be corrected immediately. The conservative press also breaking rank. The Drudge Report running this headline, Putin dominates in hell. Even Fox News following suit.
This has got to be the most incredible thing I've ever witnessed.
It was not a very forceful presentation from President Trump.
As he does Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi prince who dismembered a U.S. journalist in Istanbul. Trump defended him when all our intelligence agencies said the Saudis killed him. Why? Ask Jared. He received a $2 billion gift from the Saudis. All this is out in the open. The lie isn't hard to detect. He's doing it in your face. Trump victory in the fall will have a partisan Supreme Court and the White House. And even should the Democrats win the House and the Senate, they won't have the 67 votes needed to remove Trump. He will do whatever he wants, and not even the court can stop him. And he's not shy in telling you that.
He said, they did it to me, so they have to do it to them. Do you support that?
Abby, I know you are. This is why the ratings on CNN are so low. The bottom line is simply this. Without question, President Trump has looked me in my eyes in a room full of other folks and said, you know what? The best revenge is success. Let's not make this about
Senator,
just Donald Trump.
He may have
Let's
said
make
that
this
to
about
you in a
every
private
single
room,
American.
but he has said it to thousands of his supporters that he plans to go after his political enemies.
I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
For millions of people to see on television, he has tweeted it, he said it on the radio. He has said, they've got after me, so I'm going to go after them. If you can just answer the question. If he said that, would you support that?
I have answered the question. You don't like my answer, but I've already answered the question. But here's the...
May 30th is just the beginning.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 counts.
After the verdict, money started rolling in. A combination of big corporate cash and $5 bills from red state America, unable to logically process that they are the mark.
Is that 34 felony counts not in the country that I want to live in, not in the United States of America that I know and love?
You don't want to live in the United States?
I don't want to live in a New York sham prosecution.
And the fact that the Republicans will continue with Trump as their nominee speaks volumes. They no longer care about justice and the wars we fought to protect these ideals. Why? Because they're afraid. They're willing to cut off the rest of the world and give dictatorial powers to this sagging stump of a man.
Hush money, hush money. It's not hush money. It's called the non-disclosure agreement. And most of the people in this room have a non-disclosure agreement with their company. It's a disgrace. So it's not hush money. It's a non-disclosure agreement, totally legal. As far as the trial itself, it was very unfair. We weren't allowed to use our election expert under any circumstances. You saw what happened to some of the witnesses that were on our side. They were literally crucified by this man who looks like an angel, but he's really a devil. He looks so nice and soft. People say, oh, he seems like such a nice man. No, unless you saw him in action. And you saw that with a certain witness that went through hell.
But Trump also said anyone who takes the fifth is a criminal until he took the fifth. Look, listen to me. If you still support Trump and this party, it's simple. You are a coward, a weak, pimply whitehead on Alex Jones's ass.
I will eat your ass.
There are heroes, however. The 12 jurors, can you imagine the pressure they were under? These 7 men and 5 women were selected by the defense and the prosecution. They took notes, they deliberated for 12 hours, and then they did what is arguably one of the most courageous acts an American can do. They convicted a man who literally has an army of trolls and insurrectionists at his disposal because they believed he was guilty. And Fox News' cesspool of cowardly jizz ponies will likely come out and reveal their real names, and their lives will be turned upside down. But these 12 ordinary men and women are the real Americans, and they deserve a place in history for taking our democracy seriously enough to serve on one of the toughest juries with integrity and care. And then there's Stormy. Stormy Daniels has proven that real strength comes from the most unlikely of places. She was mocked, threatened, and then disregarded until she raised her right hand and delivered the goods. She's smart and handled the cross with ease. Not surprisingly, actually, as she was a top student and her business acumen has created a life where she could escape poverty and live the American dream. Yeah, you can call her a pornographer, but you tell me what's more pornographic, this or this?
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
This is just the beginning of a long journey that doesn't end in November. Regardless of who wins, MAGA cowards will be led by this heart attack waiting to happen, a sociopath whose cognitive descent picks up speed every day.
The voices of famed evangelical...
Trump is falling down the stairs and he can't find the handrail. But the good news for him, he did finally win the popular vote, although probably not like he envisioned.
Damn right.
I want to be a dictator.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I'm Chip Franklin.